So this chapter is the urinary system, chapter 16. We'll be working on this for the next couple weeks. Okay, so there's a main organ. There's four organs, but the main organ is the kidney. And so we're going to learn all about the kidney and what makes it up this chapter. Its main job is excretion, and that's different than the digestive system, which is removing feces, which is what's left over after they take all the minerals and the molecules out of it. Excretion is actually the waste of metabolism. So when we break down amino acids and sugars and nucleic acids, what's left over is now in our blood, and that's a waste product, and we need to get rid of that. And what we produce to get rid of that is urine. And so we're going to learn about the formation of urine, how excretion happens, and what the kidneys do. So the way we're going to structure it for today's lesson is there are four functions of the kidneys, specific functions, and we're going to learn those four specific functions. And then there are four organs of the urinary system, and we're going to learn the four organs of the urinary system. So four functions and four organs. Page here, the four functions of the kidney. The first one is excretion of metabolic waste. And so basically a lot of that is nitrogen or nitrogenous waste. And because that nitrogen comes from the amino acids when we eat proteins. And so like amino acids, when they're broken down, they produce ammonia. And ammonia goes to the liver, and the liver adds CO2. And CO2 plus ammonia makes urea. And that's the building block for urine. And urea is a lot less toxic than ammonia. So it's our body's way of like, okay, we can handle having urea. If we had pure ammonia, we would have to use a ton of water to constantly be removing ammonia, and we would just dehydrate ourselves. There's other things that can be removed. Creatine is removed, and also something called uric acid, which is the breakdown of nucleotides. And uric acid, if it is not removed, can make crystals, and those crystals can get caught inside of our joints. If those crystals get caught in our joints, it gives us a condition called gout, which is very painful of the joints. Okay, so the first one is excretion, and we're trying to get rid of nitrogen waste mostly and make urea. Number two is we want to maintain a salt-water balance. So to maintain a saltwater balance, your kidneys has the ability, because it regulates the amount of urine that you're releasing. Your kidneys have the ability to say, am I going to release a lot of water? Am I going to release a little water? And the way it does it is through salt. And so hopefully you guys know that if you have a high salty environment near your cells, the cells will release water, and that's called osmosis, and the cells will release water out of them and put it in the blood. So the kidneys, the way they regulate the saltwater balance is if they want to increase, if they increase the salt in the blood, what that will do is that will increase the water in the blood, because the water will come out of the cells because of osmosis. And so you'll have more water in the blood. And then a consequence of that is you'll have higher blood pressure. So it's kind of interesting that the saltwater balance is important, because if we need to have higher blood pressure, let's say we're standing up and we need to put the blood up to our brain, or we're working harder and we need to have more blood pumped through our body, one way we could do it is increase the salt in our blood. That increases the water, that increases the blood pressure. Okay, so that's all done by the kidneys. The third function is to maintain acid-base balance. I don't like that. Okay, so acid-base balance. Okay, and so the reason why you want acid-base balance is because our body works at a typical pH, and the pH of our blood, where everything functions normally, is 7.4. Well, what happens if we eat a whole bunch of lemons or tomatoes, and that has a low pH because it's acidic? So because of the food we eat is acidic, your bodies and your kidneys have to constantly monitor that pH and change things in response to that. So what happens is if you eat a lot of something that's acid, your kidneys will release either OH or take in H plus, which changes the acid and bases. So your kidneys are like testing the pH constantly and either releasing OH or bringing in H positives, and that's changed the pH all the time. So what's interesting is, and then they get rid of the excess acid through the urine. So even though our blood pH is 7.4, our urine pH, and this is average of 6, which is acidic. So our body is monitoring our blood to try and keep it in 7.4 for homeostasis, and so things can work properly. Number 4 is we're trying to secrete hormones too. So your kidneys help secrete hormones, not all hormones, but and I'm not even going to make you memorize them all, but so if we need to absorb Na plus, we secrete a hormone from our kidney. If we want to produce red blood cells, we secrete a hormone from our kidney. And if we want to absorb calcium, we secrete a hormone from our kidney. Okay, so the blood pressure, we want to keep a 7.4 pH in our blood so that we can function properly, and so the kidneys are regulating the acid and base, and then we also secrete hormones. Okay, so our second section. All right, now we're going to talk about the 4 organs that make up the urinary system, and the first, and this is probably the most important organ in the urinary system, is the kidneys. And you have a pair of kidneys, one on each side. They're in your lumbar section in your back. They're slightly protected by your last little part of your rib cage. They're kidney-shaped or bean-shaped. So you have 2 kidneys. Some of the words that are associated with kidneys and the urinary system are renal, and you'll hear like renal artery, renal vein. You'll hear the word renal a lot. They're in your lower back. They're bean-shaped. They kind of have a red-brown appearance. And if we were to draw them out real quick, the little indention part is called the hilum. And you have what's called the renal artery and renal vein. So the renal vein. Okay, so the renal artery is bringing blood to the kidney, and then we have the renal vein brings blood away from the kidney. And so this is the renal artery, and this would be the renal vein. Your next organ is the 2 tubes, one from each kidney coming out, that brings urine that's made in the kidney. The kidney processes and produces the urine. And these 2 tubes are called the ureters. And you can see the ureters right there. And then the ureters are small muscular tubes. They're about 25 centimeters long, 5 centimeters in diameter. And the way they can push the urine is they push the urine by a process called peristalsis, and peristalsis is waves of contraction, so that it contracts at the top, and peristaltic contractions contracts at the top and pushes it down. So these are our tubes that bring it from the kidney down to the urinary bladder. Okay, the last two organs. The next one is the urinary bladder. So the urinary bladder stores the urine, getting ready to release it. It fills up to about 250 milliliters, and that's when some stretch sensors inside the bladder can indicate that it's full, and then it helps so we can release it. So there are 3 openings of the bladder, and 2 of them are for the ureters, which are coming in, so they're right here. Really, the openings are down in this part down here. But those are the 2 of the openings, and the last opening here is the urethra, and we'll talk about that in a second. But interesting about the bladder is that there are 2 sphincters, which are circular muscles, right at the end of the bladder, and they're called the internal. So there are 2 sphincters. And there's the internal and the external. Internal is closer to the top, and the external is below it. And the internal is involuntary. That means that it opens up and lets urine go, and you aren't in control of it. It's just automatic. When the bladder's full, it opens up. And that puts pressure on the external sphincter, which you are in control of. And that external sphincter is what you can think and say, hey, I don't want to go to the bathroom, I don't want to go to the bathroom, and you can hold that. And you don't develop that right when you're born. It takes a while, a little bit, before you to gain control of that through your brain. And when you finally relax your internal and external sphincters, that's called meticulation, and that's the same thing as urination. Okay, so now let's talk about the urethra. That's from the bladder to the opening outside of your body. This is pretty obvious, but males have a longer urethra than females. This is on average 20 centimeters, and this is 4 centimeters. And this is one of the reasons why, since the females are so close to the outside, they get more urinary tract infections, so they have a more tendencies to get infections inside their bladder, and they get more bladder infections. Okay, so these are the 4 organs. You have the kidney, the ureter, the bladder, and down here the urethra, and they make up the urinary system. And we talked about the 4 functions of the kidney.